Dr. Manny from Break the Cage MD. This is that morning bathrobe and superhero t-shirt flow. Over the weekend, I traffic on the site like went viral, so it's awesome. I'm super excited. Glad to meet all the new folks that are getting to know what Break the Cage MD is all about. Um, so, should introduce myself. I'm Dr. Manny. Welcome to Break the Cage MD. Uh, the main purpose of Break the Cage MD is to introduce physicians to ideas that are pretty pervasive in other fields, especially entrepreneurship, and let them know that, well, they could be living the bathrobe life. I'm just messing with y'all. That there are multiple ways to practice medicine, and no one will tell you unless you ask, and no one will lead you to it unless you go looking. Uh, my passion is the study of power. I study power dynamics. I study disempowerment, disillusionment, how people are misled, how different social classes interact, how within social groups some people prosper and others don't. I'm passionate about that stuff, so I went asking and looking. Um, so a lot of my videos are about power, about the neurochemistry of power, the culture, uh, gender stuff, race stuff, social class stuff, lots of neurochem, lots of memetics, lots of uh, how money works. I love how money works. It's something that I study deeply, mainly the mathematics of it, the epidemiology of wealth, and cool stuff like Sapolsky's work. Um, like if you haven't looked at Sapolsky's work, it's interesting. I'm a geek for a minute. Um, if you look at the profile of illnesses like cardiovascular illness and just a lot of the stuff that in the human culture we've put the narrative of morality around. You should have more self control about your weight. Um, you should exercise more. You should eat less. You should whatever stuff that we've put narrative around. If you look at Sapolsky did some work on epigenetics and social class in some sort of primate, some sort of monkeys. He lived with them and everything for a while. He's a Stanford biologist. But what he found is that the weight distribution and the cardiovascular stuff is based on social class, and ironically, it's parallel to what you'll see with illness distribution within the human population. It's just that with humans, um, more geekery. We've replaced. We had implicational working memory first. Then we got smart. We developed propositional working memory, which is how words are able to you're able to with words, concepts, and ideas, you're able to plan, you're able to predict, you're able to strategize, but you're also able to worry, you're able to be neurotic, you're able to imagine worst case scenarios, you're able to blow things out of proportion, you're able to develop plenty of mental illnesses based off of just ideas. It's fascinating stuff. But I say that to say that the someone called it tyranny of the prefrontal cortex. I guess is the article. You can Google it if you're interested. But basically, most of human suffering, like the actual suffering experience, is based off the idea that we've over evolved our propositional working memory to the point where we have hijacked the sense of completion from sense of meaning from life. And if you Google meaning and health, you'll see that there's several articles that show that money falls second to meaning as far as health. More geekery, but working memory, propositional working memory has taken over implicational working memory. Implicational working memory is pattern recognition, intuition. All the stuff that Einstein says has been subjugated to words, math, and other social constructs. So the problem with that is propositional working memory doesn't match necessarily the schema in our core and isn't aligned with like our true north, our internal compass. So you can talk yourself out of what you really feel, but then you end up with this weird inauthentic feeling. So yeah, so that's the gap. Meditation, mindfulness, all this stuff they're telling you to do is basically to try to get you to shift frames of reference, to change your mind, that was a pun, to start using your implicational working memory, to look at mythology, to look at themes, to look at metaphors, to look at implications, to look at patterns, to look at dynamics instead of rigid structures, to look at processes in a more abstract way. They found that the more abstract you think, the more powerful you are. The more powerful you are, the more you look more forest, less trees. The way to personal control is to jump up levels of abstraction by asking yourself why. When you jump up, it's called method of levels therapy. People charge for this. When you pop up by whys, what you do is you jump up in perceptual control theory to levels where two of your systems may be in conflict, like say your fight flight system and your attachment system. This is how people who are abused end up with